Good.
Make sure sister didn't call.
All right, Coach, anyway.
We're excited to go to Little Rock and take our football team. I believe it has a lot to do with the passion of the state. For a long time ago, I know it originally started, there was no televised games, many, one or two on a weekend. And I think that had part of the reason to go over there. War Memorial their stadium was better than this one in the past. And they had lights. We did not. There was a lot of reasons to go over there. But I think the passion overall from the years of Arkansas football had to do with something about our willingness to go play games in Little Rock. Our team is not looking at this as, well, we have to go play in Little Rock. We're looking at it as opportunity to take the team on the road and have a great opening game in the great city of Little Rock. And whether I want to do that for years to come or not is irrelevant right now for this Thursday night's game. But we are excited to go over there. It's on our schedule. It's where we're going to play, and we're excited to go over there. And we hope that we'll have a whole lot of fans at the game supporting our football team. Looking forward to playing Pine Bluff. Looking forward to playing a in-state opponent. And we know that Coach Hampton has done a good job. As he goes into this year, he'll know more about his team, and they'll have a better team, as I hope we do as well. But we have a lot of respect for University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we're looking forward to getting over there.
Very good going.
Coach, you planning on, I guess, bussing down on Wednesday and flying back? Is that kind of and just what's the schedule coming up?
No, Trey, we are going to bus over there, but we'll bus back as well. Certainly helped us. We can save a little bit of money, but more importantly, with us having a 2-day advantage on our opponent, our kids will be off Friday, then we'll practice Saturday, then they'll be off Sunday, and then we'll go into a regular schedule for Oklahoma State after that.
You guys doing any kind of walkthrough in the stadium? I don't know if y'all ever really do that. But
we are not, ever since I've been here, we've chose not to go to the opponents. We do everything here. So no.
And on the depth chart, you had Patrick Kudus listed first team or with a Marion Harris.
Yeah.
How's that situation playing out?
I don't believe Patrick will play. But I'll say this too, and we'll miss him because he's a good player and back's still bothering him. But Marion Harris has had an outstanding camp and I don't know that there'll be any drop off there. I think he's not 5, Trey. If you were going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's not 5. I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's 3. I don't know if he's 4, but he's not 5. He's really done a really good job. I'm really pleased with how he's come along and gained his weight and playing, and he's always in position. I'm really happy for him.
The same question at running back. We've seen Dominion and Jaquindon both up there, and I'm hoping maybe you could spring that into your situation there, but spring that into the general health, because it looked like you got through camp without any season loss, guys.
We did. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up too, because it was very physical. We had two scrimmages, and we also had 2 other times that we tackled to the ground in specific situations. So I think we did the right thing. Obviously, we talked about it a long time and what we wanted to get done. Spring was that way as well, 2 scrimmages and 2 tackle to the ground. The depth there at running back, I look for Jaquindon to be our starter there, and then we'll go after that, probably Rodney Hill would be the second guy in the game, and then R-Dub has been beat up a little bit, so he hadn't practiced at full speed consistently over the last 10 days. So Rodney's done a really good job. We feel like we have 5 backs that can really play. So, but probably in order of going in the game, that would be 1 and 2, and then we figure out how Rashad is at practice today, and whether that be him or Braylon probably going in there.
So is anybody else slowed, questionable for this week then?
And probably the only one would be Armstrong, left, whether he's practiced every day, but whether he is full speed or not, we'll have to wait probably until Thursday night to find that out. But he has practiced every day and just hasn't really practiced a complete practice. So we'll see where he is after today.
You brought up the Little Rock component to the scheduling, and how you feel about it is irrelevant for this game, but is there an ideal amount of times you think to go to Little Rock every other year once the Arkansas State game is played next year? Is there an ideal for you in this scenario?
I think the only concerning thing, and I think half of the, I don't know that the word's problem, half of the concern, okay, is that we're going to play in our stadium once in the first 5 games, and one of them's in Little Rock and one of them's in Dallas. Now, the Dallas game is, we'll end up playing Texas A&M here next year. But if you look at it and you consistently look at it, I believe the year we won 9, I think we had 6 games, and I think 4 of them, y'all check me on this, but I'm saying I think 4 of them were home games, and we were in here twice. And to be honest with you, I just don't know that it's fair to the fans. I mean, they know where the University of Arkansas is. They can plan it. They can get here for games. I think they want to be here for games. So there are problems with that, including the one for 5 here. I don't know the answer, to be honest with you, in the future. Obviously, we're going to go play Arkansas State a year from now over there in Little Rock, but I think there's a lot of conversation probably needs to be had between now and 2026.
Sam, I think the last time we talked to you, you mentioned that Anton was really pushing Nico, and then same thing with TJ Metcalf really pushing Hudson there at safety, and they're both listed as oars on the depth chart. I'm curious kind of where those battles stand going into this week.
Well, we haven't really talked to the kids, exactly, if there's an or on there, who's going to be that. But I can be honest with you and tell you both Hud and TJ have played really well, and so has Nico and Anton, which is a good thing. A lot of times you have battles and you're trying to find one that's good. Both those battles are between 2 really good players, and they both will play all 4. You understand what I'm saying, but I think we still have another physical practice today, and we'll find out what we're going to do at that point. But again, who runs out first is probably more important to the kid and maybe the media than it is to us, because they're going to certainly play their reps.
And I'm curious your general feeling when it comes to like bulletin board material, like if another player, a coach on another team says something, do you address it with the team? Do you like let them know like, hey, this is what they're saying, or is it like, hey, they see it anyways, no need to bring it up?
Nowadays everybody sees everything, so we have a lot of respect for Pine Bluff and their staff, and so we'll just leave it at that and try to go out and play our best game.
Sam, I remember, I think the pre-camp presser, you said you thought it was important to figure out a kicker within a couple of weeks, and the depth chart has or. It sounds like Shipley's been doing pretty good. But I guess is Ramsey healthy again, or what? Why is that an or? And is it really you don't know who's going to kick Thursday?
Well, all of them's oars because we haven't talked to the kids about it, to be honest with you. Some of them they're so close of a battle that we still need to practice 2 more days before we figure it out. Again, that doesn't mean that we don't have confidence in the oars, because we do, or they wouldn't be on there. We haven't spoke with the kickers yet about who's won that job. And once we do that, I guess you'll find out on Thursday. I hate it, but we just haven't, at this time of the media, we haven't talked to the kickers about who's won that battle. I can say this, they both have kicked well. Ramsey was hurt for a week. We shut him down for 5 days, and then he was back yesterday, and did a really good job on his field goals.
And there's been a lot of talk from players and, you know, Eric talked about how far Harris has come since, I guess, the spring. And you're down there with the line a lot. Specifically, what is he doing that's, you know, made him, you know, one of your top guys?
I just think he's so much more motivated, and his body gives him a chance. You know, he had lost so much weight, and he was down to 275, 278 pounds. And I'm not for sure if that didn't affect his mind as well, because he wasn't able to move people. He always had good quickness and always had pretty good technique. But now I think him being over 300 pounds, I think his confidence is much better. He's been here now for 3 seasons. His ability to move people is much better, and he's just. I think he's just playing better because he's confident that he can get it done, and him and Carmona together, they've really been a good. Carmona's been good for him too, if that makes sense.
And then I was curious how the mock game or the dress rehearsal, or whatever you want to call it, went Thursday night. I guess I know you're not hitting, but how did it go from a logistics?
Well, we actually did this year. We went in shells, and our tempo was good. I felt like the offense, I think, was right at 20 plays. 2 of them were on air, situational, and the defense was around 18. And then we had all kinds of special team situations, and it went well. Now, in the past, we did not do that. I mean, we did the special teams, but we didn't physically get after each other. I just felt like we're trying to talk about being tough, and you can't be tough unless practices are tough, and the expectation is tough. So we did that. It went well.
How about dealing with social media distractions? You mentioned that last week, Coach, how you thought you would have to deal with some adversity at some point. When that comes, last year maybe you didn't do the best job. This year you feel like you've equipped your team a little better to handle that outside noise.
Yeah, I think so. And we really haven't gotten into a stressful situation yet, so we're going to have to figure that out once that happens. There's situations that are adverse during a game, and then there's certainly adversity after a game, speaking of media. But I think our kids have been pretty good with the media. They've been limited availability, but I think we've got a mature team, so I feel pretty good about it. And we've spoke about it quite a bit as well. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape there as well. We have a mature team, so I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
Last time we spoke with you, you kind of mentioned how Danny and Ian might have to treat them as
Yeah.
one player, kind of, and see where you go. Have many of those guys taken a step forward? Is it the same plan? Maybe they're one player in terms of snaps and reps and everything.
Going into the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff game, I think that is the plan. Where we've been rotating, on fours, there's just no way that we can do that with a Landon Jackson. I mean, we can't. We need him on the football field. Maybe Cam Ball as well. But the equal opportunity, we're not close enough right now for a guy who's to me quite a bit better, and that could be because of age. It could be a lot of reasons. Is off the football off the field, and so. But I do think that rotation is something that we'll certainly do.
And Kudus, do you think like this could be a short-term thing, or how do you feel about his availability past you?
He's going to get a reading on his back on Friday, and then we'll know a little bit more about it after that. But he has. He's progressed from things in the pool to things on land now, to a little bit of hitting. So we're going to get this MRI read, and then I'll have a better answer for you on next time we meet, I guess next Monday.
last thing, just, I know it's a game, it's not practice, but how much of week one maybe can be part of that competition at, defensive end, safety, cornerback, where you have some of those guys fighting for depth chart?
Great question. I'm really excited about that, to see game ready competition. And you know, you just don't say, we talked to them about scrimmages, and the game's the same way. You don't stay the same. You just don't, you don't, you go to practice and you go out to a game, you get a different person. I mean, you do on a Saturday, or in this case, a Thursday night. They're either going to get better or they're going to get worse. No coach is going to come in and say, well, that's about what I thought we was going to get out of it. It goes up or it goes down. And so I'm really excited to see how each one of these guys that are in a battle, and those are not, for that matter, to see how they play. We have so many new players. And of course, I heard Arkansas Pine Bluff has maybe 52 or something like that came in July, so very, very difficult to really, really, really know what you have until you line up there on a Saturday night. You think but it'll be a lot of fun to find out truly what we have.
Coming into fall camp, you said you liked Andreas Poshka, but you need to love him. I guess how much closer are you to loving him, and what have you seen from him throughout the fall camp?
Well, I love the kid. A lot of it was understanding the offense, being able to play faster because of that. He had a really good offseason, gained some weight, stronger, faster. He's very aggressive. So there'll be times in there, it depends on, what personnel that we use, that he'll be the first guy out there. Now he might be out there with another tight end. So he's come a long way. I believe that we'll find out more about him on Thursday night, but I've been pleased with his progression over the last, whatever it's been, 21, 22 days.
Coach, last year, I think a full week out, y'all announced the captains, but you
Yeah.
haven't yet. Are you know them, or is there a reason for the delay?
Well, I've changed that one too, with the portal and all that. I think naming captains this early. When I was at Georgia, Trey, they named them after the season, and they just had a rotating guys. I do think what we're going to do is we're going to name 4 game day captains for a while. And I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know if that's going to be to game 10. I don't know if that's going to be during the bowl prep. I don't know when that's going to be that we decide who our captains are. But I just think here, twofold, Trey, to be honest, I think that we have too many captain-like guys on our team right now to get to 4. I think let's let them play a little bit. Let's see them in adversity. Let's see who really is the leaders on a Saturday afternoon. Again, we have 39 new guys. So I just thought that it would be kind of cool if at the end of the year, if you had 48 guys or you had 36 guys that represented the team as captains. I mean, let's look at this. You're going to Little Rock. So if you're sitting there thinking who could be game day captains, well, you start thinking about your kids from Little Rock that are starting. You start thinking about maybe a guy from Memphis, whatever. And I think it would mean something to those kids. And they had the opportunity to walk out there. And, captains have changed. They never ask a captain, what do you want to do or anything. Most of the time they don't ask me. They just, you're going to take the penalty and we're moving on. So that's really something that could kind of be neat that I thought about, that you could have 40, 48 guys in a 12 game go out there and then maybe decide who really earned the captain spot after the year during possibly bowl prep.
Just kind of going through thinking too deep in my head, but Nico was like the only guy I could think of.
Yeah. Well, you have him Marion as well, now. And, then if you didn't have a lot of Little Rock kids, you might go back to the state of Arkansas because we're going over there. So we've got an idea. We haven't talked to the team about it yet. You're trying to get it out of me, and I'm not going to give it to you.
All right. You watched some football games this weekend, and anything
I
that you
did.
maybe could apply to your players for, hey, look how this guy, or penalties or anything like that that you might
Well,
apply?
I think we did a turnover circuit again, individually, because we saw quite a few balls on the ground. Penalties obviously are a big part of the beginning of the season. We did show a couple of clips to the teams about some things on special teams where, guy muffed a fair catch on the kickoff and they got it on the one, and next play was a safety. He was not in the end zone, makes a big difference. So there was some situations like that, but basically it's the message was about what you believe that you can do, and rankings in preseason are so inconsistent with what you have. You see Georgia Tech and Florida State, and if you looked at that game, no disrespect to either team, but it wasn't a fluke. Georgia Tech and them went toe to toe, and two good football teams. Georgia Tech found a way to win the game. That's how our season started last year as well. We just didn't. We were Florida State. We weren't Georgia Tech at the end of the game, and so they're all learning situations. And why did it happen? And because Georgia Tech could have blown up there at the end with the snap, and then they come back and have two really good plays, and the kicker goes in and wins the game. So, yeah, there's some situations that we saw that we used with the team.
I was going to ask you about Pine Bluff, what you know about schemes, anything, and I think they named Hagen's number 9.
Yeah, they did.
So just many thoughts that you have on Pine Bluff.
Well, quickly on them offensively, and we've got to stop the stretch play. The quarterback is athletic, so he can throw and pass. They have a wide. They don't have a lot of guys coming back. I like their left tackle. They have a center and a left tackle. Their left tackle, Christian Love. He's a good player, and so I like that. Schematically, they're going to throw the bubble. They're going to run their quarterback. I expect some RPO type situations out of them. They've got good team speed, and we've got to, like I say, we've got to stop the bubble screen, and we got to stop the stretch, and that's what they did. I thought very well last year defensively. Haven't seen a lot of pressure out of them now. Whether they change or not, obviously I'm talking about Grambling, what their coordinator did at Grambling, their offensive coordinator last year. That's what he did. Defensively, they have the same coordinator back, and they base out of a 4-man line, a field under G. Not a ton of movement. I expect to see more movement. Not a ton of blitzing. I expect to see more of that. So we are taking what we saw from them last year and amping it up, instead of we're very rarely running anything against a base front because we're expecting some type of movement. Zone team, not a lot of man coverage out of them, and but very, very well coached, and they play extremely hard.
You've got the rare triple or at one of the cornerbacks with Singletary, Cuddy, and Keon Stewart. Are they all guys, or are you looking for a guy?
No, I think they're all really good players. Part of that, again, when Kyle makes me do this, it's because we're beat up a little bit, so I'm going, well, when are they coming back? All this stuff. But Singletary's been, he's had a little hamstring, that set him back a little bit, and Stu's been beat up just a little bit as well. But I think all three of those guys are healthy, and I really like what Cuddy's done, what he's done, and so we'll see if we get through healthy. The next 2 days, I expect for Cuddy to be the guy there.
Just a quick question about media access. I think you were wide open in spring. I think Kyle said that your training camp was maybe as open as anybody. and in season is going to be no access. I just wonder, have you evolved on your thoughts on what led you to this point?
Well, guys, it's a really critical year for us. I mean, it is. It's a big year for us, and I just wanted to keep as much as we could everything in-house. A lot of times, in all honesty, a lot of times from our observing practice, there's some information that I don't want out that gets out. And it's just a big year, and that's no negative towards anybody. It's just human nature. So and so's not starting today. You know, they moved this guy to this, and you know, I'm not saying you can't find that out anyway because I mean, we can call people, right? But it's a big year for us, and we just wanted to keep everything in house as much as we possibly could. Now, we also understand that you have a job to do, and that media is part of our family. And sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. But you are a part of Hog and a part of our family. We understand that too. So we're trying to find as good of a togetherness as we possibly can have. And to be honest with you, I'd like to see where it goes, and then we'll decide in the future. But we do not want to shut you out of what's going on. There was just too many things I felt like going on that people knew about our program that I didn't necessarily want them to.
And we didn't hear a lot about Jordan Anthony in camp, or maybe we just didn't ask that much about him, but he's on the depth chart. We know he's got, you know, super duper speed. What kind of camp did he have, and what are you expecting from him? Is he totally over that toe or foot
Yeah.
or whatever it was?
Really good camp. I think Jordan's probably moved his way. He's definitely 2 deep, but so that'd be 6, right? I think he's 6 or higher and moving up. Really, the toe, the track, you know, might have, I don't want to say set him back, because we knew when he came here he was going to be a track athlete and a football player. But he seemed to, as his health got better, he seemed to just keep on increasing. I think you'll really like him on Thursday night. I feel like he'll do a good job for us.
I guess just a quick one tactically on the rules. I guess first week we've seen the 2-minute warning
Yeah.
in action here in college
There's
football.
more stuff to worry about.
Just your thoughts on how that might affect, you know, play calling and things like that.
I think this depends on, you know, are you ahead? Are you behind? How much are you behind? You know, whether you're going to try to use that. You know, if you're 2 scores down, you're probably going to try to add another one before, you know, the 2-minute warning. You try to, depends on down and distance, a lot of stuff. But for the most part, after doing studies on it, you know, you're going to let the 2-minute warning be the 2-minute warning. Again, there's certain situations where you could possibly steal a timeout, and that's what we would do. But that rule, and then you know you've got your two stride rule before you can hit the quarterback. So we've been working on that as well. But that's really, to me, the only 2 that kind of stick out.
Coach, appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.